not spewing our germs around the room. And I'll put both shield and mask on as I talk to you. Okay, we're gonna need, we're gonna need a double flat.
Oh, no.
Come back up with your
Okay.
marker.
We're gonna miss the double flat.
Yeah, you'll need an E double flat at the end of that measure. No, this middle measure. Because see, you've already got an E flat in the.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, now, let's think about what happened in your right hand as far as the sequence goes. You had a sequence pattern that was established. There was the interval of a sixth going out to the octave with the open fifth. How would you continue that pattern in the next measure?
The fourth one?
No, the middle measure. Right hand.
Okay, I don't think I heard the entire question. Can you repeat the question?
Okay, how would you continue the sequence pattern in the middle measure?
For the bass?
No, for the right hand.
Right hand, okay.
Because the pattern that's established here is a sixth and then out to an open octave. So the sixth, it's the root and fifth of the chord. So what's the root and fifth?
Yeah, you're good.
I mean, it's the third and fifth of the chord. There's the fifth and the third up there. Now, if we get to F minor, what's the fifth of that chord?
Eight.
The fifth, F minor.
E flat. Okay. The fifth.
F minor triad, what's the fifth of the chord?
C.
C. So you should have C in the alto and the third of the chord in the soprano. An A flat. Come and fix them.
Okay.
Yeah, this whole thing is just a matter of noticing and following patterns. That's really the whole 9 yards of it.
I guess I was only thinking the pattern was in the bass.
Nope, the pattern's everywhere. Yeah, that'll have to go too. So we put the fifth in the alto, C. Nope, down, there we go. And put it on over into the next one too. We're gonna maintain it. And then you see what we do is,
I'm gonna get my other marker.
everybody watching and getting this, hello, Friday people. Okay, so now, following the pattern, you would go, there we go, and now you would go, yes ma'am, yes ma'am. Now let's fill in the next measure, and we are on, so what would be the third of four?
D?
It'd be F would be in the soprano, and A flat in the alto. Down, 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 down. There we go. So A flat in the alto. F, and you're gonna have to have another ledger line to give me the A flat.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, now, all you gotta do is go over, do the same note, and then up the octave with the fifth in the middle. Now, let's see what we've got. Here we go. So, we're gonna kind of have to come back, don't run away. We're gonna have to figure out how to kind of bring this to a close. So, we've already got D flat in the key signature. So my solution, I think, would be to just take the 8th note out in the left hand.
This one?
Yep, just take that one right out, and there you go. So this is good now. Everyone checking? So we've got the sequence going, the pattern going in the right hand, and the descending chromatic in the left hand. Anybody have any questions on that? Okay, so let's take a look back here. This is A. Oh, come on. So A from, all right. So if we think about the example that we were given, so what we want to do is do secondary dominance of given a 5 of 4 to a 4. And then if we're going by fifths, down to D tone. So we're going to end up on 4. Then we're going to end up on 3. Right?
Down by a fifth?
Down by a fifth.
From 4?
No, down by a fifth. All we're doing is going down the scale in the upper note and the lower note, and they're a fifth apart.
Oh, this is A.
Now, here is the crucial question. What you've done this in the key. You've done if we want to be absolutely literal on the sequence, we've gone a dominant 7th to a major chord. Now, we're going to go a dominant 7th built on F sharp. But if we're going to do exact sequence, we should go to a major 3. So you might want to add a D sharp there and change your Roman numerals. Yep. And then the E, 5, 7, and then make the 2 major. And this way we have literally a sequence of what we had. And then 5, 7, 2. So you got to have a C sharp up there. Now, there's honestly nothing wrong with the way you did it the first time. But this is absolute, if we're absolutely literal about what we see in the sequence, we've got a dominant 7th to a major chord. And then if you're going to keep that up so that it's a literal sequence, you got a dominant 7th to a major chord, dominant 7th to a major chord, dominant. Does that make sense, folks? Because that may not have been obvious.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
I just went over this when I had question marks, like major through that whole thing.
Yeah. And that is why I just said that what you did is perfectly okay in terms of that. Because all it asked you to do is secondary dominance alternating with triads. And what you put up was literally that. Now I'm just saying if you really want to get fussy about being the sequence of what the first progression is, you'd be trying to make that chord of resolution into a major chord. Everybody look at me, hello, does that make sense? And do you see how both possibilities, yes, sir?
Mine's kind of more from the ground up question, because like, I like just getting at what to what, like, so it's a descending, a sequence of descending fifths. And then just by making every other one a dominant, a major dominant, it becomes automatically the secondary of the next chord in the sequence. Like, how do we know what chords to put next, basically?
Okay, you've got to just say that again. You were given the left hand, right?
Okay.
Weren't you?
Yeah.
Okay, so if we're gonna do this in a sequence, then what you're gonna do, the first right hand that you were given had a dominant seventh on the first note and a major triad on the second note. So then if you're going to follow the pattern, you'd have to have a dominant seventh on the first note and a major on the next note.
And so these are all in root position, obviously, right?
Yes, they are.
And so then, okay, so you don't have to figure out kind of what it is and then make it into something, you just build it off of the verse.
You just build it off of the root note.
Yeah.
That it's real, I think.
It took me
Oh,
hours
man.
to get to that point. when you're
Yeah,
talking about
Ellie,
it.
did you say, I mean, this
It's
is.
easier than you think it is.
It's way easier than you think, and again, I am sorry to be a broken record about this ding-dang textbook,
So I blame the book.
but it's just, it complicates things, and this is a concept which is just really simple. Yes, Shelley?
So the question in my head, I think overall is that so I understand that you're talking about the literal to the major, to the major, to the major, but depending on what the composer's doing, he's gonna shuffle between the major or the minor, and so that's where the breakdown
Yes,
of the rule
and
is happening.
here is where either version is okay, because they did not give you a specific Roman numeral on the chord of resolution.
Right.
If they've given you something, it's left up to you, and taking the key signature, literally, 3 would be a minor chord. It would be
Right.
just what you did the first time around. But again, my point is to just literally do a sequence of what we had. Does that make sense? But that does not make the version with minor 3 and minor 2, that does not make it not a sequence. It's just two versions or two possibilities. Everybody with me on that? Okay. So, very good. And we've got, over here, we've got B. All right, let's take a look. So this is B. So here was the example given to us. And ending up on 5. So what we were asked then, we've already been kind of given the right hand. So if we just put chromatic passing tones in, so to G sharp, to A, to F sharp, A sharp, to B. Okay, you kept going. I think we've got almost a little bit of overkill there. So, when you get to the last measure, that helps. Thank you. I don't know that we have to necessarily keep it going. But if you're gonna do what you did, Ian, you're gonna have to have a C natural on the and of 1. Okay, you're gonna have to put a natural there. And then I would probably just, in terms of just, a simple matter of elegance, I would just tie the D, the D eighth note over to the D quarter note. So yours ends up to be like this. And then we finally resolve. But alternatively, you could have maybe stopped the chromatic passing tones in the last bar, and it could have been something like this. Sorry. Could have been something like that, because we end up with a few funky chord, things going on there. Because this, in the first bar, it makes it into secondary dominants. That's a secondary dominant of that. Secondary dominant of that. But if we keep going, that doesn't necessarily give us a secondary dominant. So, a decision, could have been made there. But you literally did the sequence, and it's okay. Certainly okay that way. Is that all we have, all the examples we have for today? Nobody else? Okay, I'll tell you what, let me start, can I just have some more volunteers to put some stuff up? And I will start looking at workbooks and anthologies while you're finishing those, and then we can finish the discussion of a few additional examples. So if you've already put something on the board, just come, please, and put your workbook and anthology in front of me.
Question for the onliners, do they send you a copy right now of all their work?
No, I will see them, let's see. Yes, Cindy, are you out there? Cindy's
Cindy's on right now.
Cindy sent me some copies of the workbook, and I've already got those. That's
Okay.
good. Cindy, what you did is good. So if you're not able to be here with me in person, all you can resort to is taking a shot of it and sending a PDF.
So should I announce for the Friday people that if anybody doesn't show up, they should send you?
Yes, otherwise I'm not gonna be able to give you a grade.
Exactly, okay.
Or I'm not gonna be able to give you a grade that you'll like. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
Because I do have to see evidence that you've been working.
Are we
So,
missing, right now, are we missing anybody in this class?
1, 2,
Besides
3,
Cindy.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're missing 2 people.
So Cindy's in this class originally.
Cindy's in this
And we have
class.
one other person, who's that?
That was
Evan, Levi.
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 Levi, okay, so I'll notify Levi that he should have sent you.
Right, and I got a
today.
message that Levi should be in class.
Really?
I did, I got
Okay.
that all clear message from the thing. So Levi, where the heck are you?
Okay, and I'll actually email him personally right now.
Yeah,
And then Cindy asked, do you wanna see my anthology as well? Should I take pictures of those?
You have seen it, right?
Yes.
I'm gonna let Ellie be the witness on that, Cindy.
Okay.
I'm gonna let her speak for that, cause she has seen it, because I think it's a big bother to take a Xerox of all of that and then convert it to PDF. So
Yeah.
Ellie will be your advocate on that,
Okay, and she says thank you.
so.
Okay, so I'll email Levi right now and you can do whatever you want.
Okay, so who is ready to come up and let me see workbook and anthology? You're still not ready to go to the board and try anything?
I will. I haven't done it, I haven't done the assignment, so I just be doing it on the board. If that's what you want me to do.
No,
Hey, I got it.
pick something that hasn't been done, so you can. All right, so, I'm going by the pictures here. So we've got Wesley.
Yes.
All right.
All right. Do you remember what chapter we started?
Well, let me just take a look. I'll work backwards.
Cool. So 30 is here. copy.
Oh, right.
I've got, I think about like 10 pages-ish of like marked up stuff, but the rest is like it is the same notes that I had made.
Sure.
Yes, I would have.
So this is where you start?
Yeah, I'm not really, not starting with the time, six stuff, and then it goes back to like.
Don't think of the five, so if I were to ignore what the 5/7 is, because the next chord is C, which is the 5 of F, so the next chord, so this is a G chord going to, a C chord going to, an F chord going to. That makes sense?
Okay, right there.
Okay, so.
What
the
is
next-
that? Not a 1/7, but
Probably a 5 of 4.
you got that.
Okay.
That's what that
That would
means.
make a lot more sense.
That's what that needs to be.
Then I think that's where my marks stopped.
That's where your mark stopped, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess there is a downside to the electronic
Yeah,
copy
kind of
in
annoying.
that sense. Okay, so what grade do you believe we should be receiving?
I think like A minus, that sounds good.
I'm gonna agree with that, so we've got, let me just put this here. Workbook
Yeah,
is
because if I'm
checked.
an ad, your onboard is
You're
something
writing-
really good.
Anthology is checked, and grade,
It's F sharp, it's F sharp. It's
A
dominant.
minus.
Is the key signature.
That's what you're gonna
So
say?
this is really the 5/7.
But we will have, you know, that will only be good as long as you keep logging in the last 2 weeks. Okay.
5/7 of F sharp. If you
Excellent.
make it the 5/7 of F, then you have a whole bunch of chromatic modes.
You've made a lot of
You're adding it.
very
Then you have
intelligent
B
comments in
flat,
class.
which is the dominant of E flat, which is the dominant of A flat, which is the dominant of C flat.
And I'm finishing the email. I said that he needs to get the work to you by end of day.
Like,
Today.
if the, because
Yeah.
if it wasn't B5, it wouldn't
I
be
like, I think it's very
the
interesting, but I would never do like that.
But F sharp is already sharp, oh, I guess.
But there's no. I had to do some research.
Okay, anyone else who's already been at the, do you wanna come up? Okay, all right.
I don't think I'm ready to go up to the board because my brain is still.
But you're ready with your workbook and anthology?
Nocturnes and stuff, of course, you know, and kind of like.
Yeah, pretty critical to your grade to show me this today.
I have been.
I did say that, didn't I?
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
This whole semester, I feel like I've been like, all right, I'm following. And then this last week, I just, like,
Well-
all the new information, I was like, I'm lost.
Well, it's because we didn't end up having a lecture
Yeah.
on this.
Yeah.
So, and I just simply thought the concept was obvious enough.
Well, I think it's just because when I learned sequences, I never fully learned it. So there's
So let
that.
me look at those.
And that's why I also have been having a hard time with my health. And so the last week I didn't watch Fridays yet. So I don't have Fridays done, but other than that, I did everything
Oops, hello.
that I know of. I,
Very good. Good. Okay. So,
anthology.
anthology is less complete. Do we have a reason for that?
No. I didn't write in the anthology as much as I should have. But
Okay.
I did use the anthology and follow along, but I just didn't write it in.
All right. Okay, so let us come to a conclusion then. What do you believe your grade should be in the course?
I don't know. I'm terrible at grading myself. I think that I put forth, like, basically the most effort. I could have been better with
Yeah,
anthology.
that's not so good.
So, I don't know.
I think I can agree with that.
Okay.
I think that is a fair grade.
This is so weird for me. I've never done
Well,
this
you know,
before.
we are honestly in weird times.
Yeah.
You know, and I could not, just in my heart, I could not waste instructional time with people taking tests.
Yeah.
I figured that was just ridiculous. So I'm on the anthology, I'm giving you a check minus.
Did you find something wrong?
That sounds right.
And on the workbook.
You're not correct, you're not correct.
Yeah, I found something wrong, 29 years
So
ago.
your grade, as long as you continue to show up and participate, will be a B.
Okay.
Very good.
So then I go from NGB to,
I'm missing a few physical pages of the homework, but I have pictures of them on my
Mhm.
tablet.
Okay.
So if you wanna see the ones that are not in your hands, just let me know.
Well, let me take a look at what I've got here first.
Ellie, I have a question.
Yep.
I have a really hard
what
time.
do you mean?
Okay, so I understand you're like presenting
I mean, this last one.
So the next
Good,
one?
especially like regarding like.
Like the
I read it for like the concept, not like, I mean, not even the concept, just
You
like.
just step down, so.
And like, my favorite part is like, you know.
And make sure to take a picture of that in case I couldn't find the actual copy.
Yeah. You know, I think I've got a sample. And you're telling me you have pictures of the rest.
Yeah.
So, and
But
And you saw before that.
So-
all my anthology pages, pictures,
okay, so, just, oh my goodness.
yeah, cause I couldn't actually write anything on the program, so I took pictures of the pages.
And
that
I
I
see all
sent
your,
to
I
Joanna.
see your red markings.
Yeah, some of them are black, some of them are red.
Okay.
And then you do P and then you resolve to one.
You can just keep scrolling as much as you want.
Okay.
So we go up just.
All of them are in that one folder.
Yeah, no,
Okay, so this,
I'm not eager to put that out there, but that's what it is, it's because it's been shifted.
You've been tracking well here.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Don't think about it too much. I know, that's a very interesting one.
Okay, so that's all in order. So anthology is in order, so tell me what grade you.
I feel like I should get an A.
Yeah, I saw this, the only one that
I'm
was
gonna agree with that. We'll confirm
As long as
that.
we agree.
Now, the only way you can mess that up is to disappear on you.
I don't plan on
Okay,
disappearing.
no, you gotta be sure you log in the Zoom session.
Yep, I will. Are we, then, clarification question.
Yes.
We've only been in person once a week here, are we only doing Zoom once a week, or
No,
is it both?
you have to log in
Okay,
to both.
thank you.
Okay. Anybody else ready for me?
I'll go. Start with my next. Okay. Yep, all the workbook is done except for today, because that was like peanut butter. Starting from 20.1, I believe. Testing out if I wanted to try another style of notation. I decided to stick with the slash lines.
Okay, that's good. Let me see.
But maybe just halfway. I found it was good for like looking at, but when it came to a lot of it is like the differences between passing tones and actual harmonic structures. So it was kind of, you go through and
Okay, where's your, fragment six chords? Did you?
no, not the fragment six.
Huh?
Nothing fragment six, no.
All right, well, that's not the best then. So let's see, I'm going to put for the workbook, I think we're fine. For the anthology, it's definitely check minus.
far as, like, I really like the anthology, but, like, as far as like a grasp of material, it's obviously, I think, really good. And as far as doing the work and participating in class, I think it's beyond fair. And especially when in comparison, like, if I had just gotten like an electronic textbook, would have been an electronic anthology, would have been any different, you know? Especially when it comes to like my learning style, of like actually doing it, so like actually coming in here.
So, the missing work there, does this make it a B?
A minus?
B plus?
A minus?
I'm bothered that there's not more there.
Oh, can I keep going and just show up to the final classes and do the final assignment? Yeah, what does it look
Oh, you need to show up.
Well, I know, but I mean like contingent and then keep going on that.
All right,
Well-
I'll give you an A minus, but,
Contingent.
If Dr. Hanson decides to give like a take-home exam, I can bleed on that for you, and that can decide whether you get an A minus or a B plus.
okay, I'm gonna put a question mark there so that we're still considering that.
Yeah, because a lot of it is like, I mean, I learned that in class and like
Yep.
in conversation. Thank you.
Uh-huh. All right.
Hi.
Hello.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I get the material.
There's some coffee
So
stains.
why would I not?
Coffee stains, you don't get extra credit for that.
Yeah, well, how many? Yeah. Because the half that I got done with that, so.
Mhm.
Like, I did all that, but all of that.
Okay, that's good.
So it's like,
I'm blanking on your name.
Okay.
Kate. Yeah.
Kate.
Yeah.
So, that workbook is fine.
uh-huh. I got the radio with you. Wish. Listen.
What grade do you deserve?
I think a solid 95.
An A.
Solidly.
Could you have participated more in class?
I think in the beginning, yeah, but then once it hit the middle,
Well,
I
then-
There
feel
were
like
a couple times you were absent from class.
All I can give you is an A minus, because you didn't, I mean, you weren't a presence in class.
that's okay. I'm good with that.
But you did do good.
Thank
You did well, but that class participation was a critical element.
Okay.
So you think that's fair and you're good with that?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
All right, let's get the teaching over.
Let's get to what?
Oh,
Yeah,
nothing, nothing, I didn't say anything.
Okay, workbook.
It's in my notebook,
All right.
and it's all reverse order.
Oops.
I know,
Okay.
like that.
Wait, did you do that one?
No. I know it's one.
Yeah, see, everything, I just got lost in some, because you can't, when you're here,
now we've got a few on the board, let's just take a minute and check those.
Sorry, what'd you say?
So we've got now A2. So we have this descending 5, 7, it's just like a string of secondary dominants from one to the other. So we've got G7, which would be going to C7, right? So G would be going to C, and then it's a 7, and that would be going to where?
See, I put this up and I thought, I'm sure all of this is wrong.
Well, we got off the track a little bit, because C as a dominant 7th would have to resolve to F7,
Yeah.
and so that's gonna be F natural.
Okay, I'm looking at it wrong. 'Cause it has a P now. Here's what you're talking about?
No, I'm talking about the next chord, it's gotta be an F7 chord,
Instead of F sharp,
not F sharp 7.
Oh, okay, okay.
so we need a natural, right?
That's it, a natural, and then E flat in the alto, and naturals in the soprano.
So I know we're covering chromatic material, but does it matter? Because that was the same, I think that was the same thing that we were talking about, because it goes from G to C, which is the dominant of F, which you have to have an accidental, which is the dominant of B flat, some more accidentals, then going to
Right.
E flat. So you just need all those accidentals.
You need all those accidentals.
Okay, that makes sense.
Oh, so you don't wanna stay in the key?
Okay. So
You don't have to stay in the key.
Okay.
That's where my
Sorry.
confusion, that's where my
Okay.
confusion was, because I was like, okay, well, do we add
So-
a million accidentals, or do we
Yeah.
just stay as diatonic as we can and add in chromatic passing tones?
Okay, so.
Unclear in the instructions.
So either way would be technically right?
Either way would be okay.
Okay.
So you did so you did the sequence that way,
Yeah.
and I'm connecting the whole thing as a string of dominants.
Major.
So G7 goes to C, C7 goes to F, F7 goes to B flat, flat 7 goes to E flat to
The perfect.
So you end up on
That's
G,
flat.
you end up on G flat.
So would that be the same for A3 then as well? They don't have just secondary dominance, just says to add chromatic passing tones between both steps.
Okay, so let me make sure I'm understanding what you're saying. So C, okay, G to C to F.
To B flat,
B flat, because F to B flat is a
right,
perfect fit.
exactly.
Okay.
And
So I
then
have
B
change
flat
that
to E flat.
A flat, E flat.
You got it, and G flat.
G flat.
That's,
Okay.
that's the deal.
Okay, so then the accidentals have to.
All you'd have to do is just adjust the accidentals.
Okay, well, I'm not gonna do that right now.
Yeah, let's not do it right now, but did everybody,
I'll fix it.
everybody who's online with me or watching this, let's just talk one time through it so you're absolutely clear. It's gotta go G, G7 to C7, which will then resolve to F7 to B flat 7, to E flat 7, to A flat 7, to D flat 7, to G flat. Do it one more, and I'll play it as I say it so you can hear it. G7 to C7. F7 to B flat 7, E flat 7 to A flat 7, and D flat 7 to G flat. Make sense? Okay. Let's see, let's go to A3 here. We've got on the
So
board?
A3, I stayed diatonic, and I just added chromatic passing tone.
I think that's a good way.
And then I
So-
just tried to alternate.
Yeah, let's see
from-
what you've got. I think I'd have done the alto now. Instead of the A flat, I'd go F sharp to F.
And then I couldn't figure out any chromatic
A
passing.
six, make this into a 6/7. My only quarrel is what you've done on the first beat of the second measure. I'd have made that into a 6/7,
Okay.
and then you could,
I tried to keep it the sequence, because it was just triad seventh, and that's what they gave you, so I thought, okay, well, triad seventh, triad
here I would have gone in the alto. And so, by your logic, then what we really should have done, I would have gone up in the soprano to follow the pattern, up to B sharp and C sharp. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Thanks.
Okay.
yeah, with that, just would have made the major two.
Okay? So who do I still need to see or check out? Okay, let's just kind of queue up here and let me be checking.
If you've already checked your work and it looks like you've gone through the homework, are we okay to leave?
Yep, you are.
Thank you.
And I will be sending email and clarifying on Friday when you tune into Friday's session. I will be clarifying a Zoom contact for following Thanksgiving. You will get email with that link.
When is the fall, when is that?